Hey guys, so something happened today, and honestly, it feels like I talk about failure a lot. And I think that happens a lot because I'm in sales, and I deal a lot with coaching with people, and it's just part of life. When you are going through life, you fail. It's just what happens. And so to think that you're never going to fail is false, and it's going to happen. I had one of my sales agents come up to me today and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm struggling today. But I'm so sorry. Can you help me out here? Can you get me motivated again?" I was like, okay, number one, motivation is not what you need. What you need right now is discipline. When you are struggling, when you're going through this rut, when you're suffering, you got what you need is discipline. Okay. And so I was thinking, I was like, man, I said something like poetic to this guy. And before I tell you what I said, I want to read this quote. It's on the screen here. If you're on iTunes, you can go to YouTube and you can see the quote. But the quote says, "Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success." I also like another quote that says, the failure is the mother of success," meaning like you can't have sex you can't have success without failing. It's just impossible. And so this agent, he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, Cody, I struggled today. It was tough." And I said, "Okay, this is what you gotta do. Okay, whenever you're in a rut, whenever you're struggling, whenever you're having trials, whenever life is just not going the way that you want, there's 4 things you gotta do." Okay, number 1, I told him, it was like, you got to take responsibility for your actions. You got to take responsibility for what you did. Hey, you did not put up the numbers that you wanted. You did not make the number of sales that you wanted. You did not do la la la. You did not do this. Okay? Let's take a look here. How many calls did you make? How many dials did you make? How much time were you on the phones? How much time were you actually doing revenue generating activities? For those of us in sales, it's easy to just be like, "Hey, you know what? I did really great yesterday, and today I'm going to kind of slack. I'm going to just kind of let it chill. I'm just going to kind of just," right? I said, you got to take responsibility for the days that you're not going to do well by doing crazy good on the days that you do well. Don't coast on those days. Take responsibility for that. Take responsibility for the amount of time that you're actually working, the amount of time you actually dialed out, right? First thing you gotta do when you're struggling is take responsibility. Okay. Second thing that you need to do is you need to accept what happened. It's like, okay, I zeroed today. I didn't sell anything. It was a struggle. I didn't make any money today or whatever, right? I accept that. I accept what happened. See, so many people, they get stuck in the past and they think, "Oh man, this thing happened. Like for me, like I applied to be a manager over the entire sales floor rather than just a supervisor, and I didn't get the position. And even me, like I'm like struggling, thinking like, man, I wish I would have got that position because I would have been able to do this and it would have made more money and it would have made this." And then I was like, you know what, Cody, like take responsibility. Like, sure, you screwed up in these other areas. My biggest struggle, honestly, is I really offend people. Okay. And it's because I don't sugarcoat things. I used to do that and it got me into a lot of trouble. And I found out, hey, you know what? It's a lot easier if you just communicate, tell people straight. And then I'm very like, I forge a trail. If you guys haven't noticed, I forge a trail and I go for what I want. And everyone else around me, a lot of times, those type of people, they're like, he's causing commotion. He's doing things that are different. He's crazy. He's not doing well. He's whatever, right? And it can actually turn people off. And I'm like, man, like And this is why I made that episode about like, it's so tough to let other people determine your outcomes, let other people determine if you're going to make more money. And I realized, man, I just need to grind harder. I need to grind harder on my academy that I'm doing, my sales academy, and my coachings. Like, I need to start working harder with that. I mean, I've gotten success, but I need to just blow it up. That way I don't have to rely on getting a raise or getting a better position to get more money. It's like, no, I'm just going to go create more money. Okay. So accept what has happened. Okay. Take responsibility for what happened. Accept it. Just be, okay, I'm okay with it. You can't change the past. You can't change what happened. Hey, sure. You know what? Like, I got a speeding ticket. Ah, man, all these times, like, I'm sorry, I'm telling a lot of stories here, kind of jumping around. But the reason why I told you the story about the manager position that I did not get is, even now I think, like, I should have done this and I should have done this and I should have done this. It's like, no, I can't change it. Okay. Just the only thing you can change about the past is you learn from it. I got a speeding ticket, and there are still days I'm like, man, that dirty word, insert explicit right here. That cop, I was not speeding, right? And he gave me a $200 speeding ticket. I was like, barely, right? But it's like, okay, I need to take responsibility that happened because of me, not to me. I accept the fact that it happened, and I realize that I can't change the past, but I can change the way that I look at it, and I can change by learning from it. I learn it. That's the only thing you can change from the past, is if you learn from it or not. The third thing you got to do is you got to forgive. You got to forgive everybody that's involved, but specifically yourself. It's like, hey, I realize I made those mistakes. I realized that I was speeding. I forgive myself. I forgive that cop. I forgive the manager. I forgive these people. I forgive the clients. I forgive myself for not working hard. Because if you let these things hold inside of you, you're going to take it to your next day, or your next hour of work, or your next hour of your life. And then you're going to be trying to move forward, and it's just going to be a downward spiral. This is what happens with downward spiral people. They never forgive themselves and lift themselves up. And so you got to forgive yourself. That's the third thing. Fourth thing is then go take action. So many times we let paralysis of analysis. We start thinking of things. We start thinking, blah, blah, and we never go and take action. Or we have failure, and it's fight or flight, and we run away, and then we go hide into a corner, and then we stop taking action. Right? The way to get out of the corner is get out of the corner. Start taking action. Start moving yourself forward, and learn from what happened. Learn from what happened. Start taking more action. Learn from what happened. Start taking more action. It's this cycle. I should put that on a shirt. It's a cycle of learning, the cycle of becoming, the become pure cycle, something like that. Because it's like you have awareness of something. You're like, I suck today. You visualize a new future. You take action on a new future, and you learn, and you usually fail. Anyway, and then when you fail and you get educated on it, guess what happens? Your awareness goes. Anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked on that. But guys, if you are failing, just realize it's going to happen. Failure is awesome. Failure is part of success. It's not the opposite, right? Here's success and here's failure. It's not like this. It's like if I'm going towards failure and I fail, it doesn't mean I'm going the opposite direction. It's like, no, it's actually like this. And here are you, and you're running this direction. Boom, failure. Then you get to success. I realize this is like these fingers here. Okay. Failure is not on one side and success is not on the other. It's an actual path, and like you are going down the path, and you're going to have to visit failure. Then you'll visit success. Then you'll visit legacy. Then you'll visit immortality. I love the quote. I read the quote today by Bruce Lee. Oh man, Bruce Lee. Quote. Immortality. What is it? He had this quote. Anyway, it's not pulling up here, but basically the concept of the quote was, the way to become immortal is to live in such a way that you are worth remembering when you pass away, right? The way to become immortal is to live your life in such a way that you are worth remembering. Like, the way to become immortal is to be remembered in other people's memories. So that's awesome. I like that. Anyway, little tangent there. So you guys are awesome. Remember, be great so you can create your freedom.